So we'll start today on our backs. And as always, you're welcome to have your knees bent, maybe resting together, maybe out to the side, or legs straight, whatever works best for you. And some people like to rest their hands on their body or out to the side. It's your choice. See what facilitates a deeper breath. And we'll begin with the eyes closed. We'll just do a little scan of the body, particularly the parts that are connecting to the ground. We'll begin with the heels, or if the knees are bent, the part of the feet that's touching the ground. And then if the legs are straight, the calves. And then we'll all feel the lower back resting on the ground. And then feel the whole back, the spine, the muscles on either side of the spine. Just letting it all relax into the ground. Feeling the shoulder blades, the backs of the arms, if the arms are on the ground. The hands. And feel the back of the head as the head rests down. And then we'll move up a layer with our awareness. So moving from the parts, the outer parts that are touching the ground to the more inner parts, and in particular, the inside of the torso, where we can feel the breath. Letting the breath deepen. But also noticing the ways that the breath furthers that connection to the ground. So perhaps on an inhale, as you expand, you can feel parts of your body being pressed into the earth. And then on an exhale, as you let go, maybe feeling the way the body relaxes down and becomes even heavier. Breathing belly, ribs, chest. And then we'll bend the knees if they're not already bent. without changing anything about the breath. So keeping your awareness on the breath and just adding the movement. And then lift the feet up off the ground, just letting them relax by the backs of the legs and the buttocks. And then slowly touch the toes down while pressing the lower back into the floor. And then lift back up. So as the feet lower, you're pressing the belly into the back to push the back flat into the ground. And we'll just lift and lower like this. And see if the movement of the breath kind of make a connection. Might be helpful to inhale as you lower the feet down, or you might find it helpful to exhale. Everybody's different. Find your own way. So we're actually doing both feet at the same time. And just resisting the way the lower back wants to arch off the ground when the feet lower by pressing it down. Good. Now we'll continue, except we'll lower the feet to the right. And then don't switch, stay with the right side. So the feet just touch down off to the right. One more on this side, and then we'll go over to the left. One more. And then hug the knees into the chest, allowing the belly to relax. You might want to rock from side to side and feel how that massages your back. Good. And then we'll cross the right leg over the left leg, having both legs in the air. You can hook the feet as well if that's accessible to you. And then place the right hand on the right thigh and the left hand on top of the right hand. Take a breath in. And then when you exhale, push the leg into the hands and the hands into the leg and scoop the belly in and up. We'll do a total of 5, so 4 more. Release hands, release legs, and then cross the left leg over the right, lifting the feet in the air. And again, if you're able to hook that left foot under, you can do that. Don't worry about it if you can't. Left hand is on the left leg, right hand on top of the left hand. Inhale. Exhale, push the legs into the hands and the hands into the legs and pull in and up with the belly. Relax the belly and relax the pushing as you inhale. Exhale, repeat. 3 more. And then release everything. Take the legs out straight. Release the arms overhead. Reaching and stretching long. And then breathe in order to stretch the belly even more. And then we'll pull the knees in again and rock all the way up to sitting. Bring the heels together and create a square inside the legs. So not a diamond, but really a square with right angles at the knees. And pull the flesh of the buttocks back behind the sit bones. And inhale and reach up. Exhale and fold forward, letting the hands rest down, letting the head relax. And then bend the elbows any amount. Notice what that does. Keep the feet flexed so you're pulling the right toes and the left toes away from each other. And then breathe long and slow, like you're dragging the breath up your spine. When you exhale, draw the belly in. Let the weight of the arms collapse down. Let the head be heavy. Surrender to the emptiness of the exhale. Can you let go even more? Shoulders, arms, hands, thoughts. Keep your mind so attuned to the feel of the breath, there's no room for thought. And then slowly roll yourself up. Reach the arms up with an inhale. Exhale the hands to the ground behind you with the fingers pointing toward your knees, spreading the fingers wide. If you have issues with your wrists, you can come onto fists instead. And then plant your feet hip width apart on the ground. And then, as though you're trying to open the lid on a jar with your hands, kind of spiral your hands in opposite directions. So the right hand is going to rotate clockwise, the left hand is going to rotate counterclockwise, but the hands are not really moving, they're just energetically moving. And then you can hopefully feel how that brings your shoulder blades in and opens your heart. And then we'll push into the hands and lift the hips And try to get the hips as high as the knees. And then relax the head back so that it's in line with the rest of the body. Now, those of you who like to challenge yourself more, you can lift the right leg and have it extend straight out, also in line with the body. And then if you want even more of a challenge, you can also try to lift the left arm overhead. Good. And if the arm is lifted, bring it down. If the leg is lifted, bring it down. And relift the hips and pelvis. And those of us who are adding that modification can lift the left leg. Feel free to just stay in your upward table pose without adding any more difficulty. If you want to also lift the right arm overhead, go ahead and do that. Keep the hips lifted. And if the arm's lifted, bring it down. If the leg was lifted, bring it down. Come and sit back down on the ground. Wrap your hands around your knees, just below your knees. Tuck your chin and lean back. And breathing into the space between your shoulder blades. Spreading the upper back wider with your breath. And then lift yourself up. Cross the ankles to flip over onto hands and knees. And we'll do the same on this side. Perhaps it would have been smarter to do the easier way first. This one's certainly easier than the other one, but that's how it is. So the arms are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips. And again, you can be on fists like I am if that feels better, or just spread the hands wide. And then the gaze is straight down at the ground so that the neck is in line with the spine. And the belly lifts to support the back. And then we'll lift the right leg behind us and the left arm in front. And then bend your back leg, your right leg. Reach your left hand back for the foot and kick the foot up and back and take your gaze up and breathe. And release the hand, round the back, pull the knee in. And try to touch the knee to the forehead. And relax down. Coming back into the table as a starting position. And then we'll extend the left leg back. The right arm forward and just hold there. Lifting the belly to support the back. Keeping the gaze down and the reach long. The breath slow and steady with the mind following the breath. And then bend the back leg. Take hold of that left foot with the right hand. Kick up and back. Take the gaze up. You might try pressing more firmly into the front of the right foot to get a little more lift. And release down, bend that right knee. Try to touch the forehead. And release down. Let's take the hands, one hand's length in front of the shoulders. The middle fingers are pointing straight ahead, and all the fingers spread nice and wide. The hands are shoulder width apart. Curl the toes under, take a breath in, and then when you exhale, lift the knees but keep them bent, and then push forward into the hands like you're trying to send your sit bones back over the heels. Knees are still bent, and then pull the arm bones down the back. So all that space in the shoulders, try to eliminate it by bringing the shoulders lower onto the back. And then press the left heel down, keeping the right knee bent, pushing strongly into all 10 fingers, sending the hips back, pressing the left thigh back, really pressing down through that heel. And then take the right leg, lift it up, straighten the leg, flex the foot, pressing forward into the hands and out of the right heel. And then inhale and look forward past your hands. Exhale, step the foot up between the hands. And then bend your left knee so that you can lower your hips down even more. So the left knee isn't going to come to the ground, but it's going to bend so that the hips can drop. Now, see if you can keep your hips as low as they are and straighten the left knee by pressing back through the left heel. Now see if you can keep the hips as low as they are and bring your hands onto your thigh. And you're welcome, those of you who wish to keep your hands on the ground, that's fine. I'm just adding options. Good. And then if you like, take the left arm up. Push back into the left heel. Reach up through the left fingers. And breathe deep. Bring the left hand down onto the ground. And then take the right arm up. Letting the navel aim for the right hand. Keep pressing back through the left heel. And then lower the hand down. Step the right foot back, coming into a plank. So for plank, the body is going to be in one straight line from the shoulders to the heels. There's no bend in the hips. The hips come down even more, Michael. A little more. Good. So we don't sag and we don't bend. It requires most strength just to be right in the neutral plank. We'll just hold here. Good. And then bend the knees and send the hips back. Pull the shoulders down the back. Relax the head down. Press forward into all 10 fingers, letting the hips be pushed back. And then press down with the right heel. Press the right thigh back. Slow, steady breathing. And then send that left leg up, flexing the foot, pushing into the hands and out through the heel. And then look forward as you inhale. And exhale, step the foot up between the hands. If it doesn't come far enough forward so that the ankle lines up with the knee, just help it forward. And then we'll bend that right knee. And really sink the hips as low as they'll go. So let's not hurry into anything. Let's go one step at a time. Keeping the hands on the ground, bending the right knee. Just really taking a couple of moments to feel how low the hips can sink with that knee bent. And then straightening the leg without lifting the hips. So we want to have the hips. So we start with a bent knee and the hips nice and low. And then we don't straighten the leg by lifting the knee and taking the hips up. We straighten the leg by pressing back through the heel, and then the hips stay low. Good. Now, if you want to bring your hands onto your legs, see if you can do it without lifting the hips, just by lifting the upper body only. Good. And then the right arm comes up. And then we really reach from that right heel to the right hand. Strong, slow, steady breath gives you your strength and keeps the mind calm. And then bring the right hand down, turn the belly, and lift the left arm up. Eyes can come up to the left hand. Keep pressing back through the right foot. Good. And bring the hand down. Step the left foot back, coming back into plank. That's it. That looks good. And if you want, you can step the feet wide and then step them in. And step them wide and step them in. Or just hold plank. Keep your hips down. If you're stepping wide, don't lose your plank. Rod, keep your hips down. That's better. Good. And now coming back into plank, The knees can come down if you need that. We're going to bend the elbows by the side and slowly lower to the ground. Rest on your forehead. Feel your breath. Notice how the body sinks into the ground as you exhale and fills and floats as you inhale. And then send the left arm overhead. Press the hips into the ground. Bend the right knee and reach the right hand back for the right foot. So a little variation of what we did before. Really pressing into the pelvis. Lift the head off the ground. You might even press into the hand to help lift the chest off the ground as well, rolling the eyes up. And then kick the foot up and back. See if that helps you lift the thigh off the ground. And then I'll give you some options. You can stay here. You can also lift the left leg. You can lift the right arm. You can do either or both. When you inhale, try to float a little higher. When you exhale, sink the pelvis a little more. And release down, maybe stacking the hands under the forehead. And for me, letting the heels fall out to the side rests my back. Some people have told me that letting the heels fall in feels good to them. See what works for you. Stay connected to the breath. That's the thread that weaves the whole practice together so that it's a meditation from beginning to end. Pressing down into the pelvis, taking the right arm overhead, bending the left leg and reaching the left hand back for the left foot. And if you don't reach the foot, but you have a strap, you can use a strap. If you have a pant leg, you can hold on to that. And if you reach the foot easily, you might grab the ankle instead of the foot. And pressing down into the tailbone, into the pelvis. Inhale and lift the chin, lift the chest, lift the eyes. And then kick the foot up and back and see if that thigh can peel off the ground. And then you can add the left leg or the left arm or both. Feel the breath. Find a version that works for you, that you can hold and sustain. It's not about how much you can do. It's just about being able to be present for whatever shape your body can take. And then release down, stacking the hands, resting the forehead, maybe flopping the heels. Notice the rise and fall of the breath with the floor. As though you're breathing with the earth. And then bend both knees. Reach both hands back.
feet, ankles, strap, pants, whatever you can grab. If you grab your ankles, it's nice to flex the feet. And then press the tailbone down, root down into the hips and pelvis. Roll the shoulder blades in. Lift your gaze up. Inhale. Exhale, kick the feet up and back. Eyes roll up to the sky. Try to bring the breath all the way up to the collarbones. And release down. Rest your head, but bring the soles of your feet together, widening your knees. Bottoms of the feet touching. And then take a deep breath in. And when you exhale, try to move your inner ankles down toward the floor, keeping your tailbone pressing down as well. And then relax and separate the feet. Let the legs come down. Bring the hands under the shoulders and curl the toes under. We're going to try to do a reverse yoga push-up. So those of you who want to support yourself a little bit more, the knees will stay on the ground and then the toes don't need to be curled under. The rest of us, we're going to try to keep the body in a plank from the heels to the head. You're going to push into the hands and slowly press all the way up into a plank. Good. And then we'll all push it back into downward dog. This time with both legs straight, fingers spread wide. Index fingers and thumbs press even more, sending the hips back, longer spine. Press the thighs back, the heels down. And just be with the breath. And you can hold here in the stillness, or you can do with your arms what we did earlier with the legs. Take the arms wide, bring them back in. Take them wide, bring them back in. And then we'll all hold with the hands shoulder width apart. And then walk the feet up to the hands. Soften the knees, tuck the chin, roll yourself up to standing. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, release down. And inhale up. Exhale down. One more. Keeping the arms down by your side and the eyes closed. Feeling the weight of your feet on the ground. The flow of breath moving inside.
the lift of the head toward the sky. And bring the right arm up. And then bend over to the left side, letting the left arm reach downward. And then press into the right foot even more. Breathe up under those right ribs. Slowly taking the full breath. Inhale, come up to standing, keep the arm lifted. And shift weight into that right foot. Open the eyes, finding a spot in front of you to let your eyes rest on. And then lift the left foot and take it in the left hand. Let the knee come down alongside the other one. And just as we've been doing, kick the foot up and back, keeping the chest lifted, reaching up through the right pinky, kicking back through the left leg. Notice the mind. So the body may not be able to hold the steadiness of the pose. Let the mind hold the steadiness of the pose. Don't indulge in any kind of self-criticism, any kind of reactivity. If the mind falls, just stay focused. Don't lose your visual. Don't lose your breath. It's fine if the body falls out of the pose. The most important part is the mind anyway. The body is just a tool to keep the mind still, something to focus on. So if you notice that the body has fallen, great. Notice it. Nothing added. And release down. Close the eyes. Feel the breath. Feel the feet. And then inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, bend over to the right. And then push down into the left foot even more. Feel the whole leg bone and even the hip coming down, just as the ribs and the arm reach up and to the right. Let the left arm be heavy, the breath be full. Inhale and lift up. Open the eyes. Keep the left arm lifted and lots of weight in the left foot as you shift your body so that you're supported just in the left leg. Steady your breath. Really lock in to the feeling of your breath and rest your eyes on one spot in front of you. And then lift the right foot into the right hand and bring the right knee alongside the left knee. Feel each and every breath. That's your best friend in a balance. Start to kick the right foot back. With equal force, reach up through the left hand. If you feel like you're falling to the right, then maybe adjust your gaze a tiny bit, a fraction, a little bit more to the left, and vice versa. Steady your eyes, steady your mind. If you have thoughts, you're going to fall out of the pose. If your mind is still, your body will be still. And the way we still the mind is by focusing on the breath. And release down. Close the eyes. Just feel. Step the feet a little wider apart with the toes wider than the heels. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the palms together in front of the heart. Bend the knees deeply and lower the hips all the way down, bringing the elbows to the insides of the thighs. See if the thumbs can come to the chest. And if the thighs can stretch wider and you'd like to do that, you can bring a fist to your hand or fist to fist. And then really let the tailbone release down. Draw the navel in and down to help lengthen that tailbone down. Good. Then release the hands, maybe one in front and one behind, to lower yourself down onto your buttocks. And extend the legs straight out. Flex the feet. Pull the flesh of the buttocks back behind the sit bones. Press down through the thighs and out through the heels. And inhale the arms up. Exhale and fold over. As you inhale, press down through the thighs and long through the spine. As you exhale, draw the navel in. Relax the arms and head. Slowly dragging the breath through the whole body and surrendering to the emptying. Keep the legs engaged, pressing down. And then slowly roll yourself up. Reach the arms up. And hold. Flexing the feet. Shoulders down. Legs pressing down. Maybe even pressing the legs down so much that the heels lift off the floor. And relax the arms down. Bend the knees. We're going to rock lengthwise on our back. And then we're going to flip the legs all the way overhead. So if you're not familiar with plow pose, you might want to watch me first because you don't want to be doing it and turning your head to watch. It's dangerous for your neck. You never want to turn your head in this pose. So you flip. Once you have the momentum, your hands can come to your hips and you bring your legs all the way overhead. Now, not everybody's feet are going to come to the ground behind. That's fine. Now, we want to roll the shoulders under one at a time so that they're moving toward each other. And if your feet do not come to the ground behind you, you want to make sure you keep your hands on your back for support. If your feet do come to the ground, you may, but do not have to, interlace your fingers and straighten your arms, and then maybe roll the shoulders under even more. Now press the fronts of the thighs up toward the backs of the thighs. If your feet are not on the ground, you're not going to do that to the extent that it causes your legs to lift any higher. Press back through the heels. And then bend the knees toward the forehead. If your hands are clasped, release them. We're going to support the spine, lowering down, and then rest the lower back on the hands with the legs up in the air. So the palms are facing down underneath the lower back, the sacrum. And then we're going to slowly lower the legs down, pointing and flexing the feet as we come down, lowering with control. Once the legs are all the way down, you can release your hands, bend the knees to tuck the hips under, and then release the legs and rest the arms out to the side. If you're using an eye pillow, place it on your eyes. And we'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth and sink the body into the ground. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, releasing the jaw, slightly parting the lips. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, releasing the activity of the mind, letting go of the thoughts, and then even letting go of the breath, allowing the breath to just be. No control. And let the mind continue to rest in the feel of the breath, knowing the breath, not to control it, but just to be with it. Moving the mind from the driver's seat to the passenger seat. Just as the passenger is still moved by the car, the mind is still with the breath, just not driving it. See if you can stay with the whole breath from beginning to end. And then the next. And the next. And when you notice that the mind has wandered, doesn't matter how long you've been gone for, at that moment, you're already back. You can return your awareness to the breath again and again. Deeply relaxed. Letting go. Letting go. Letting go. Breathe into your heart. Move fingers and toes. Reach the arms overhead. Take a deep breath, stretch long. Hug the knees to the chest and rock from side to side. Once again, massaging the back, the ground. Come center, bring the bottoms of the feet together, the palms together, rub hand to hand and foot to foot. And roll over onto either side, resting your head on your underside arm, resting your body on the ground, resting your mind on the feel of the breath, feel of the body, feel of the heart, feel of the self. And when you're ready, begin to slowly come up, letting your head come up last. Sitting any way that you're comfortable. Sit bones sinking down, head lifting tall. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, the hands together at the heart. Inhale the heart up to the hands. Exhale, the shoulders relax down. Inhale deeply, breathing in from bottom to top. Take it all in. Let it all go. Drop the chin to the chest. Namaste. Thank you.